Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namami buddham gunasagarantam santa sada hontu sukhiya vera kayo jinguncho sakalo dugandho Gachanti sabbe maranang ahanca Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Gamanena napattambo lokassanto kudacanam Naca appantva lokantam dukkha atti pamocanam Tasmahave lokavidu sumedo Lokanta govosita brahmacharyo Lokassa antang samita vinyatva Nasensati loka mimang paranchati Homage to the Exalted One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Friends in Dhamma, today we are going to discuss one of the discourses which comes in Samyutta Nikaya in Devata Samyutta. Its name is that Rohitassa Sutta. Rohita means names of a deity. When Buddha was living, one of the deities came to meet the Supreme Buddha and he asked some questions from the Buddha. This is a very interesting discourse. He asked a very special question that how do we go to the end of the world? He asks a very special question. When we discuss Buddha's message, actually, always Buddha explained the world and ourselves. The more we understand the world and ourselves, then we are able to overcome suffering. That is the main purpose of Buddhist doctrines that Buddha explained for 45 years in his entire life. In this Rohitassa Sutta, it is very clear to understand, but it has a very deep meaning. On one occasion, the Buddha was staying near Savatthi. You know Savatthi? Buddha was mostly lived in Savatthi, in India. In Jetha's Grove, Anathapindika's monastery. Then Rohitassa, one of the deities, in the far extreme of the night, his extreme radiance lighting up the entirety of Jetha's Grove, went to the Supreme Buddha. On arrival, having bowed down to the Blessed One, he stood to the side. As he was standing there, he said to the Blessed One, in Pali we can say, Yatta nuko bante na jayati na jiyati na miyati na chavati na upajati sakka nuko so bante gamanena lokassa anto ñātunva dattunva pāpunitunvāti. Dear Reverend Sir, is it possible to know or see or reach the end of the world by traveling to the place where there is no being born, growing old, dying and passing, or being reborn? What does he ask? He asks the Buddha that there is any place where we can go to, where there is no birth, no dying, no passing away, no aging. He asked a very special question. There is any physical place that we can go, that we can reach by walking or by traveling, where we can see there is no aging, no decay, no death, no suffering. Then Buddha says, Yattako auso na jayati, na jiyati, na miyati, na chavati, na uppajjati, nahantang gamanena lokassa antanyateyam, datteyam, and pateyanti vadamiti. Buddha says, at that moment, I tell you, my friend, that it is not possible by traveling to know or see or reach a far end of the cosmos. Cosmos means world, where one does not take birth, age, die and pass away, or rebirth. Buddha says very clearly, we are unable to reach that place by traveling, by walking. There is a place where there is no dying, no aging, no passing away. But we can never go there by walking, by traveling. That is very interesting. At that moment he says, Acharyan bante, abhutam bante, yava subhasitamidam bante bhagavata, yattha ko auso na jayati, na jiyati, na miyati, na chavati, na uppajjati, nahantang gamanena lokasa antanyateyan, datteyan, pateyanti vadami. Patteyanti vadami. He says, it is incredible, sir. It is amazing how well said this was by Master Gautama, Reverend. I say, it is not possible to know or see or reach the end of the world by traveling to a place where there is no being born, growing old, dying and passing away, or being reborn. Why does he say that? Actually, already he has experienced. Now he is a deity. He is a divine being. Before he attained a divine being, he was a human being. In the human realm, he developed his psychic energy, divine energy, developing his spirituality, his concentration, and he achieved some divine energy, psychic power. With those powers, he walked everywhere. He went from earth to earth, from planet to planet, walking a place where there is no birth, no dying, no aging, no death. While he was walking here and there by his psychic energy, what did he happen? He passed away. 100 years, 100 years, he traveled here and there by his psychic energy. It was very fast, but he was unable to reach a place by traveling, by walking with his psychic energy, where there is a place, there is no birth, no death, no dying. Now, he is a divine being. He knows very well that he can never reach a place like that. Why is that? Already he has experience in his previous lives. With this experience, he asks the Buddha. When Buddha says that there is no place No physical place, material place where we can reach that, where there is no birth, no lying down, no passing away. Then what does he say? He says, Bhuta pubbaham bhikkhave rohitasso nama isi ahosin bojaputto iddima veha sangamo tassa mahyang bante eva rupo jau ahosi seyyathapi nama dalla dhamma danugaho sikkito katahatto katayoggo katupayasano lahukena asanena appa kasirena tiriyan talachayang atipateyam. He says, once I was here, named Rohitassa, a student of Bhoja, a powerful skywalker. My speed was as fast as that of a strong archer, well-trained, a practiced hand, a practiced sharp shooter, shooting a light arrow across the shadow of a palm tree. My stride stretched as far as the east sea is from the west. To me, endowed with such speed, such a stride, there came the desire. I will go traveling to the end of the cosmos or world. I, with a 100-year life, a 100-year span, spend 100 years traveling, apart from the time spent on eating, drinking, chewing, and tasting, urinating and defecating, and sleeping to fight off weariness. But without reaching the end of the cosmos or world, I died along the way. While he was going here and there, on the way, he passed away. And he says, so it is amazing, Lord, and awesome how well that has been said by the Blessed One. I tell you, friend, that it is not possible by traveling to know or see or reach a far end of the cosmos, where one does not take birth, age, die, pass away, or rebirth. It is very interesting. Buddha says very special thing. What is that? Here Buddha says very clearly, we can never reach a place where there is no dying, no aging, no rebirth, materially, by walking. On the other hand, Buddha says, until not going to the end of the world, we are unable to end suffering. Do you understand? Buddha says, we can never reach a place materially or by walking or traveling where there is no birth, no suffering, no death, no passing away. On the other side, Buddha says, if we don't go to the end of the world, we are unable to end suffering. Then how do we go to the end of the world? It's a, material or physical journey? No, it is an intellectual journey. It is a mental journey, a spiritual journey. That is very important. In this situation, Buddha says, Imasmin yeva vyamamatte kalebare sasanyimhe samanake lokancha panyapemi loka samudyancha loka nirodhancha loka nirodhagamini patipadancha. Buddha says, I tell you, friend, that it is not possible by traveling by know or see or reach a far end of the cosmos where one does not take birth, age, die, and pass away, or rebirth. But at the same time, Buddha says, I tell you that there is no making an end of suffering of stress without reaching the end of the cosmos. Yet it is just within this fathom lone body with its perception and intellect that I declare that there is the cosmos, the origination of the cosmos, the cessation of cosmos, and the path that leads to getting rid of suffering. Buddha says, the Four Noble Truths, in short, suffering and the cessation of suffering from birth, death, and other sufferings, having body and mind. Without body and mind, we are unable to reach the destination. But, using body and mind as a spiritual journey, we can reach the destination, place where never we have passing away, death, rebirth, and other sufferings. It is a very nice discourse that Buddha says one day, without 6 internal senses and 6 external objects, if someone says that there is another thing, it is just a word. It is not true. Buddha says, if someone says there is any other thing without extra internal 6 senses and external 6 objects, it is just a word. Without our internal 6 senses such as eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind, and the external objects, forms, sounds, smell, taste, touch, and mental formations, we have nothing. According to conventional truth, even though we don't experience, there are fundamental things in this world. What are the 4 fundamental elements? Earth, water, fire, and air, and space. These things can be seen in this world, even though we don't experience, according to the conventional truth. But how about the absolute truth, ultimate truth, absolute truth? According to absolute truth, if there is world, that is our experiential world. If we don't experience, there is no world. There is no world. The world is alive when we experience through our senses. If we don't experience, there is no world. According to the ultimate truth, absolute truth. When we open our eye, is there any form, light, our intention, consciousness, mental formations, all things are together, we can see something. If our ears are open, if there is sound or our attention, when all things are together, we can hear something. Even though we have opened our ears, if we have no intention, there is no sound. While you are hearing to me, there are a lot of sounds here and there, but you have no attention. Okay? Now at this moment, you will look at me. Then you can see my appearance, my body. But at the same time, these flowers are also come to your eyes. Did you see this color? Before I point out? No. But the color went to your eyes. However, because of your intention, you didn't recognize this flower. Okay, until I pointed out, you didn't realize it, you didn't see it. Even though those colors come to our eyes, if we have no intention, we have no experience. Okay? Here, it is very important to understand our entire world is our 6 senses and 6 external objects. Except these things, we have nothing. When we see something, there is some forms. There are some forms outside. When we hear something, the sound is here. When we smell something, we have something. Even though there are a lot of experiences outside, if we have no intention, no mental formations, we have no experience. And also the other thing is, these all experiences arise at the moment. When you see something, your entire life is seen. When you hear something, at the moment your entire life is in hearing. When you smell something, your entire life is in smelling. When you taste something, your entire life is in tasting. When you remembering something, your entire life is remembering. From time to time, our experience differs. It is different from moment to moment, according to our present mental condition. This is the reality that Buddha realized. And in the bottom level, our entire experience is that 5 aggregates. Whatever we see, whatever we smell, whatever we hear, whatever we taste, whatever we touch, whatever we remember, at the moment, instantly, 5 aggregates. Rupa, corporeality of forms, Vedana, feelings, Sanya, perception, Sankhara, mental formations, and Vijnana, consciousness. These 5 things arise together, they immediately cease. Our very first experience is neutral. Our very first experience is neither wholesome nor unwholesome. Our very first experience is just a Vijnanacharya, the behavior of consciousness. That is a result of our previous actions. Very first experience is neutral. It is neither good nor bad. The very first experience is neither suffering or happiness. It is just an experience. It is neutral. But that first experience is instant. It suddenly ceases. Then suddenly we get something with our ignorance. If we don't know this reality that it ceased instantly, then our mind, our ignorance says that it is still happening. It is there, it is permanent, it is mine, it is me, it is myself. With my ignorance, we believe still it is happening. When you remember something, if you don't know the process of this happening, and also if you are not mindful, suddenly your mind says that that incident is still happening. When you remember someone who passed away, if you think that incident, if you are not mindful, what happens to you? Your tears fall down suddenly. Why is that? You think that still it is happening. You don't know that now you are reading your mind. Your ignorance says that still it is happening, then your mind goes to past and you lose in the past experience. That is why you are crying. If we know this situation and also if we are mindful, at the moment we can remember anything no matter whether it is good or bad. We can remember it. Memory is not the fault. We can remember it without suffering, without attachment, even without detachment. We know very well at the moment these 5 aggregates arise and it immediately ceases. Then we have no suffering. This is the very first thing that Buddha says, 5 aggregates. Understanding the 5 aggregates is the highest knowledge. Buddha says in Abhiññā Sutta, if a wise person who has very powerful understanding, with his supernormal knowledge, there is something that he can realize, which is 5 aggregates. Understanding the 5 aggregates is the highest education, highest quality that a wise person can realize by his supernormal knowledge. Understanding 5 aggregates is that understanding the very first noble truth. What is that? The noble truth of suffering. Understanding 5 aggregates is the noble truth of suffering. That is noble truth. We are unable to overcome this truth. We need only realize it. Buddha never says us to remove the noble truth of suffering. We can't overcome the noble truth of suffering. What should we do? We do realizing it. We do realize it. If we understand 5 aggregates, then we haven't an attachment or detachment. When we realize the noble truth of suffering, then we have no attachment or even detachment. Then we can overcome abhijja, bhavatanha, greed or craving, and bhavatanha, the attachment to the world, becoming, next life. And also, if we have this understanding, we realize that what are the things that we have to practice. Samatha vipassana, concentration and insight meditation. Having a moral conduct, with our discipline in our speech and behavior, we concentrate our mind again and again with positive thoughts, keeping our attention in the present moment. Such as spreading loving kindness, breathing meditation, contemplating on the Buddha's noble qualities, contemplating on death, breathing meditation. These are the techniques that we can practice to concentrate our mind. At that time, we can overcome 5 hindrances, pancha nivarana. Pancha nivarana means kamachanda, sensual pleasure, vyapada, ill will or anger, tinamidda, sloth and torpor, uddacha kukucha, restlessness and scruples, and vicikicca, skeptical doubt. When we reduce these 5 hindrances, our mind is in the Brahma realm. Even though we are in the human realm physically, mentally we are in the Brahma realm. At the moment we don't need even food. We have, food for our mind, spirituality. At the moment we don't feel our physical pains, even we don't feel our hunger. We don't feel that we are hungry. Mentally we are in the Brahma realm at the moment. With this happiness we go forward. When our mind is concentrated in samatha, then we reflect on impermanence, insight meditation. That the highest thing that causes us to overcome ignorance or delusion. Reflecting on impermanence is the path to purify our mind. Reflecting on impermanence is the path to eradicate ignorance or delusion. When we reflect on impermanence, arising and ceasing of our senses and objects or five aggregates, then we have no suffering. The reason is that our mind is completely in wisdom, seeing, arising and ceasing of our entire life. Our entire life is these 6 internal senses and 6 external objects. This is the path to go to the end of the world. That is why Buddha says, Imasmin yeva bhyamamatte kalebare sasanyimhi lokancha panyapeme loka samudayancha loka nirodhancha loka nirodhagamini patipadancha. Buddha says very clearly, it is just within this fathom-lone body with its perception and intellect that I declare that there is the cosmos or world, the origination of the cosmos, the cessation of the cosmos, and the path of practice leading to the cessation of the cosmos. This is the path to go to the end of the world. When we understand our world, it means we have understood the entire world. By traveling, by walking, we never can go to the end of the world. The reason is that this universe is very vast. It is so big. When we realize our life, it means we have realized everywhere. Living in our room, at home, we can realize the entire world. What is the entire world? Entire world is our 6 internal senses and 6 external objects. Whenever we are able to understand this reality, actually this is the 4 noble truths. The noble truth of suffering, the noble truth of the cause of suffering, the noble truth of the cessation of suffering, the noble truth of the path that leads to getting rid of suffering. Whenever we realize this reality, it means we are end of the world. It means we have overcome suffering of aging, passing away, and rebirth. We are subject to die. We are subject to get sickness. We are subject to face some problems physically, but mentally we have no suffering. After we realize this reality, we know very well death, sickness, these are the things, these are the eternal truths. We are unable to these things. We are unable to overcome these things, but we can overcome suffering of death. We can overcome suffering of sickness. What is the reason? We don't take these things as my, as me, as myself. Now when I get sick, I think that I am sick, I am suffering, I have suffering. When we overcome this misunderstanding, ignorance, delusion, even though I face some sicknesses and death, I don't take those sufferings as my, as me, as myself. You know, when we see some trees which are going to destroy, are we suffering? Do we suffer? Do we cry? No, we don't cry. When trees are falling down, we don't cry. Why is that? We don't take that they are mine or myself. Like that, when we falling down on the floor, when we go into old age, sickness and death, we don't take this body as mine, as me, as myself. We live in wisdom. At the moment, we completely have overcome these material things. Even though we use these things, we don't take them as my, as me, as myself. The reason is that we completely live in wisdom, reflecting on impermanence. Whenever we contemplate on impermanence, arising and ceasing of our mind and body, at the moment our mind is not fixed, anything or anyone outside or inside. Sometimes we may think that we don't take anything as mind outside. Actually, we don't take anything even inside. We know very well this physical body is not permanently mine, me or myself. This is just a result of my mind. It doesn't belong to me. It is just a process of my mind which consists with my previous actions. This is the path Buddha explained to achieve the end of the world. It is not a, physical journey, material journey, by walking or traveling. This is a spiritual journey, spiritual walking. For that, Buddha has explained the path. Path means the Noble Eightfold Path. Samma Ditti, right understanding. Samma Sankappa, right thoughts or intention. Samma Vacha, right speech. Samma Kammanta, right actions. Samma Ajiva, right livelihood. Samma Vayama, right effort. Samma Sati, right mindfulness. Samma Samadhi, right concentration. If we have this path, little by little we develop our right understanding. When we have right understanding, we go to a right vision, right intention, right thoughts. When we have right thoughts in our mind, our speech is correct. Our actions are correct. Our livelihood is righteous. Our energy, our effort is right. Then we live in mindfulness. Always we develop our mindfulness with the awareness of our body and mind. Everything that we do with mindfulness, keeping our attention in this area. And when we do anything, we do everything mindfully, keeping our attention in the present moment. Then we are in calming down. We practice SMS concept. You know SMS concept? Usually we say SMS short message, but S means silently, M means mindfully, and again S slowly. Silently, mindfully, slowly. Little by little, we are reaching the liberation, freedom, getting rid of suffering, Nibbana. And silently, mindfully, slowly. Always we protect mindfulness. Whenever we are away from mindfulness, it means anybody or anything can disturb our peace of mind. Whenever we are in mindfulness, nobody or nothing can disturb our peace of mind. Whenever we are suffering, whenever we are angry, whenever our mind is lustful, it means we are away from refuge, safety, mindfulness. We are away from the Buddha. Whenever we are under the Buddha's shadow, it means we are in mindfulness, with the awareness of our body and mind. Keeping our attention in the present moment, we are aware of our body parts, feelings, consciousness, and mental formations. Not only we keep our attention in body, feelings, consciousness, and mental formations, but we reflect on impermanence of those four things: body, feelings, consciousness, and mental formations. Kayanupassana, the contemplation on body. Vedanupassana, the contemplation of feelings, Chittanupassana, the contemplation of consciousness, Dhammanupassana, the contemplation of mental formations. We always keep our attention in body and mind, in the present moment. It doesn't mean that we remember our past or future. We can remember anything which happened in the past or which will happen in future. But we do everything, keep our attention in the present moment. You can remember someone who has passed away, your parents or your relative. It doesn't matter. But you keep your attention in the present moment. You know very well, now I am reading my mind. Then you have no suffering. You can remember something which will happen in future. But you know very well, now you are reading, you are planning your mind. Then you are not in the physical world. You are in the intellectual world with the awareness of your mind and body.
It's very difficult because you just give me an example. If I focus on you, then I see you, but I don't see this. So if my mind is thinking in the past, then all of a sudden my mind is just like focused there. And how can I focus there and be present here at the same time?
Actually, we can do, for example, when you drive, when it rains, okay, you put on the switch of wiper.
Yes.
Okay? You never look at wiper.
No.
But you know very well wiper is working.
Yeah.
But you focus front. While you are focusing on front, you know very well wiper is here and there. When wiper stops, you know very well that wiper stops. Again I have to put on the switch. Like that. Okay? You always focus your mind here. This is the main place. This is the mindfulness place. While you are keeping your attention here, you can remember anything about your husband, about your mom, about your job. That is like wiper. You know very well it comes and there. Like that. Actually, this is the way how we develop our mindfulness. Keeping our attention in the present moment is very important. While we are keeping our attention here, when we look at something, we know very well, now I am looking at something at the moment. And also we see the impermanence too. It arises and ceases at the moment. When you remember something or someone, like your father or mother, then you know very well, it comes to my mind and it ceases immediately. Then you hear something, you know very well, keeping your attention here, you know very well, that arises and ceases here. Little by little we can develop our mindfulness. Okay, it is not a disturb. When we train our mind, we can do it together. We can do both of them together. Mindfulness and mindful meditation. Both of them are very important.
I have to start practicing this.
Yes, actually when we train our mind, we can see the results. It has a gradual path. For that, first of all, we should have a good discipline in our speech and behavior. And also we should practice SMS concept. Silently, mindfully, slowly. And also at the same time we can practice some meditation techniques such as loving kindness meditation, contemplating on the qualities of the Buddha, recollection, death, contemplating on 4 fundamental elements, breathing meditation, like that. Those are the concentration meditation techniques, samatha bhavana kammatthana. And also when mind is concentrated, little by little we are able to reflect on impermanence, arising and ceasing of our body and mind. Finally, we have to do only reflecting on impermanence. As primary techniques, as foundation, we should have good discipline or moral conduct or discipline in our speech and behavior, and also listening to Dhamma, and we concentrate our mind. Whenever our mind is concentrated in samatha, we reflect on impermanence. Finally, we have to succeed our present thought. Even though our life is very long period, time, actually we have only the present thought. If we are able to succeed our present thought mindfully and wisely, we are able to succeed our entire life. Don't worry about your past. Don't worry about your future. Be mindful in the present moment. Be wise in the present moment. If we can succeed the present thought, it means our entire life is successful. We have just a present thought. Even though we say this river is long like 100 miles or 50 miles, actually what is the length of the river? A drop of water. A drop of water of the very small measurement. Like that, even though we say, this is my today, this is my week, this is my month, this is my life, I have lived 40 years, 50 years like that, actually we live just a present thought, the present moment. If you are able to succeed the present thought with mindfulness and wisdom, our entire life is successful. Here it is very important to understand mindfulness and mindful meditation. Mindfulness means the awareness of our body and mind. Mindful meditation means reflecting on impermanence of our body and mind. Samudaya Dhammanupassī viharati, Vaya Dhammanupassī viharati. That is mindful meditation. Insight meditation, Vipassana Bhavana, Anicca Bhavana. And finally, Buddha says, Sabbe Sankara Anicchāti Yada Paññāya Passati Atani Bindati Dukkhe Esamaggo Visuddhya. Everything is impermanent. He who sees this reality with wisdom overcomes suffering. This is the path to purity. Sabbe Sankara Dukkhāti. Everything is dissatisfactory. He who sees this reality with wisdom, he overcomes suffering. This is the path to purity. Sabbe Dhamma Anattāti Yada Paññāya Passati Atani Bindati Dukkhe Esamaggo Visuddhya. Every phenomena are selfless. He who sees this reality with wisdom overcomes suffering. This is the path to purity. If we have this highest understanding, actually this is the real refuge. That is why Buddha says, Atta Deepa Bhikkhave Viharata Atta Saranana Anya Sarana. Dwell with yourself as an island, as a refuge with no other refuge. Dhamma Deepa Bhikkhave Viharata Dhamma Saranana Anya Sarana. Dwell with the Dhamma as an island, as a refuge with no other refuge. Would always advise us to make a refuge, make an assurance, make an insurance. What is the real assurance, insurance, refuge or protection? Making a refuge in our mind with the Dhamma. What is the Dhamma? Dhamma means samatha and vipassana, concentration and insight meditation. The foundation of these meditations is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the best friend. That is why Buddha says, Ekāyanoyam bhikkhave maggo sattana visuddhya. This is the only path for the purification of beings. Soka paridavana samatikkamaya. This is the only path for getting rid of sorrow and lamentation. Dukkha domanasana attangamaya. This is the only path for overcoming grief and pain. Nyaya sadhikamaya. This is the only path for achieving knowledge. Nibbana sachikiriyaya. This is the only path for the attaining of Nibbana, realization of Nibbana, which is the fourfold mindfulness. Chattari Ariya Satchani, Chattari Satipatthana, fourfold mindfulnesses. And mindfulness is the best friend. Mindfulness is the real refuge in our life. If we are able to live mindfully and wisely, that is the real protection that we can gain in this life. And also this is the path to end the world. This is the path to reach the end of the cosmos. And whenever we understand and practice and achieve the results, it means we are in the end of the world. We have realized the world. We have reached the end of the world. Even though physically we are at home, mentally or spiritually we are end of the world. What is the world? World is the suffering. What is the suffering? If we take something as mine, me or myself, it means we are in the world. Whenever we have overcome suffering, it means we are at the end of the world. We have overcome the world. Whenever we are not mindful and we are not wise, we are in the world. Whenever we have overcome ignorance and suffering as well, it means we have overcome the world. We have reached the end of the world. That is why it says, imasmin eva bhyamamatte kalebare sasanyimmi dukkhanca panyapemi dukkha samudyanca nirodhanca nirodhagamni patipadanca. When we go to the end of this world, we use this physical body with our mind. Using this body, realizing this body, realizing our mind, we can reach the end of the world. When we realize our body and mind, then we have overcome even our physical body and our mind. Then we live completely in wisdom. And that comprehension or wisdom, we don't take my body or mind as mine, as me, as myself. Netan mama, this is not mine. Neso hamasmi, this is not me. Nameso atta, this is not myself. This is just a process of my body and mind. We have realized my entire life. When we realize my entire life that consists with my body and mind, it means I have realized the entire world and I have reached the destination, the end of the world. For that, from the beginning to end, we should associate with good friends and we should listen to Dhamma, we should reflect on the Dhamma, and we should practice by using Samatha and Vipassana meditation, concentration and insight meditation. Day by day, we should increase the duration of concentration meditation, Samatha Bhavana. And also we should increase the duration of reflecting on insight meditation, Vipassana Bhavana. Our real success depends on the duration of practicing concentration and wisdom meditation, Samatha and Vipassana. The more we increase the duration of concentration and insight meditation, the more we have overcome suffering. The more we have overcome suffering, it means the more we have achieved real happiness. It means nobody or nothing can control us. Nobody or nothing can disturb our peace of mind. We have made a refuge inside. Then outside, people and things are unable to control us. It doesn't mean that we don't respond to others. Actually, we respond to others in the conventional world. But mentally, we are in equanimity. We are in upekkha. Ordinary people may say that you are also an ordinary person. They may see that, but mentally you are different. Mentally you are like a flower which has come from mud and water outside. We should be like lotus flowers. Buddha says, always try to be a lotus flower, living in the ordinary world, ordinary society, physically, mentally we should be over there. We can go to a party. We can go to a place where the ordinary people are in. We can deal with them. We can associate with them physically, materially. But mentally we don't touch them. Physically we touch them, but mentally we don't touch them. They are defilements, they are negative thoughts. We are in equanimity, upekkha. This is the path Buddha explained to overcome suffering, and this is the path Buddha explained to reach the end of the world. When we reach this destination, it means we have overcome the suffering of aging, the suffering of dying, the suffering of passing away, and rebirth too. Whenever, yes, we are living in mindfulness and wisdom. Okay, day by day, we should go forward on this path by practicing Dhamma, by listening Dhamma, and getting rid of suffering. Okay, for that, I wish you all the best. Okay, have any question? Okay, you are welcome. Now, you can be happy. We discussed one of the very interesting discourses in Buddhism, Rohitassa Sutta. There are several same suttas in several places. One of them is in Samyutta Nikaya. The other two things are in Anguttara Nikaya too, the same sutta. But incident is same. Rohitassa, a divine being, who was in the human realm in his previous lives, came to the Buddha and asked a question. And also, after this answer of the Buddha, he was so happy. He became a disciple of the Buddha, and also he realized the Dhamma. Even though he is a divine being, he could achieve some states of his spirituality, wisdom, by listening to Dhamma of the Buddha. Okay, this discourse is very important for us too. People are going here and they are finding their happiness. When they have some leisure time, rest, they go very far away, finding happiness, isn't? In this vacation, in Christmas, you can see many people going here and there with their children and their relatives. They are going far away, finding happiness. But real happiness we can achieve at home. If we can change our attitude, our vision, if we can develop our right understanding, right vision, it means we can achieve the real happiness, inner peace in this immediate life without spending money. People waste a lot of money finding happiness. But if we know Dhamma, we can overcome suffering. We can achieve real happiness freely. Okay, therefore we are so fortunate having this very valuable sublimate truth that Buddha has explained. We receive this message because of our previous good karmas, good actions. We should appreciate our previous actions, previous karmas, and also by spending this life, we should develop more merits to achieve the real happiness. Okay, for that I wish you all the best. By the power of this spiritual energy, may our departed relatives also receive this spiritual energy. May they enhance their lives, and may they also attain the final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's share these merits with our departed relatives too. Idamme ñātenang hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñātenang hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñātenang hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. By the power of all these meritorious deeds, may guardian deities and angels also receive these spiritual energies. May they enhance their divine energy. May they keep their eye on you too. With that intention, let's share these merits with guardian deities and angels to recite in the Gatha. Ākāsaṭṭhā ca bhummaṭṭhā devā nāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkantu sāsanam. Ākāsaṭṭhā ca bhummaṭṭhā devā nāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkantu desanam. Ākāsaṭṭhā ca bhummaṭṭhā devā nāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkantu tvaṃ sadā. By the power of all these meritorious deeds, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no problems come to you. May no difficulties come to you. Finally, may all of us attain the final bliss of liberation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dukkham pantā ca niddukkhaṃ bhayam pantā ca nidbhayam sokam pantā ca nissokam hontu sambe pipānino.